Hey everybody, welcome back to the Queen's Redemption podcast. We are on week 4 with yeah. We're on week 4 talking about generational healing, consistent healing and generational curses. We're creating generational healing by having these conversations about taboo topics, things that we just kind of sweep under the rug,
Right.
and it just keeps passing to the next generation to the next generation. So we're having these conversations to really heal ourselves and prayerfully inspire others to heal themselves and yourself and your family. So we just want to help. We're just here to be a vessel and really enjoy each other's company because we have these conversations all the time. So we just really want to document them. That's it. That's all.
Yeah. That's that. So, welcome back to the Queen's Redemption. Glad y'all are tuning in. We definitely want you to engage in commenting your opinions and having that open dialogue. Open dialogue, communication, i.e., what we talked about last week, is very important when you're looking at healing, when you're looking at consistently healing and breaking those curses. So, I'm glad to have my daughter here, and we're doing this project. And today's topic is in the continuance of generational curses from communication, because, as you said, relationships is the most valued. What was the quote?
Relationships are the highest value you can have, or like the wealthiest thing you can really have.
Thing you can have.
Good
you know, relationships.
I want to kind of just start off like, how like we live in a time where so many people feel like they have to be alone, or they feel like I'm a loner, like nobody gets me. I got it out the mud by myself, like as if that's like some type of badge of honor or something like that.
It is.
I mean, it is, but everybody needs help. Everybody needs connection. Like in all reality, you didn't do it by yourself.
Right.
You were connected to somebody that connected you to somebody that connected you to somebody to help you get to that point of where you are. God,
but literally, spiritually, yes.
Yeah, through people, like connections. When you're connected to the right people, I can, testify for myself in my healing journey. The right connections have put me in so many places I never thought I could be in.
Yeah, you're right.
And
have gotten you to travel different places, gotten you to see different experiences, being in different environments and rooms, and having those. So that's means more than
money.
Money.
Like if you know somebody, that lives in California, if you get there, you'll have a place to stay. If you have a friend there, if you get there, that's all that it takes.
Yeah.
And they can put you on to somebody that they know, and that can get you to that next level. Like it really, having good connections and friendships, like, is everything.
Yeah.
So I think our topic can be like relationships.
No. Yeah, because the relationship between a mother and her daughter is a critical one.
Yeah.
When we're talking about,
it builds the foundation.
It builds the foundation. So we first have to have, it builds a self-esteem and a girl to girl that's supposed to help them carry their other relationships as they live, right? So our relationship with our mother is that first relationship that we have of women empowerment.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Or else, or not.
Yeah, or not. Like your mom shapes your thoughts around friendships and relationships, especially with other women, and
that. So as we talk about the mother wound, that's something specific, or mother-daughter relationships, which specifically you had wrote down. It's a key point. So, what are your thoughts as far as the mother-daughter dynamic? Because I hear a lot of girls and women say that there is a unspoken tension between a lot of mothers and daughters until they get, older, maybe until they have their own children and they kind of see, oh, I see what my mama went through. I see what mama was talking about so I see that as a common denominator in a lot of families.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It is.
I mean, our family as well. My grandmother and my mother had a very strange dynamic relationship. You know, and me and my mother have that estranged relationship even to this day,
Yeah.
as we've talked about in previous episodes. Um, I'm in prayer about it, but forgiveness is for me, not for the other person. So, I have to work on my forgiveness. Um, and so, now that it's your generation and you have a daughter, what are your thoughts on the mother-daughter wound?
I think that wound is.
Yeah, speak up.
I think that wound, just growing up, and experience such a, dynamic that was, I wouldn't just say totally toxic, but it just had like toxic ways. Like, when you felt like you were not being honored or supported as a mother, as you thought a mother should be. And I had my thought or perception of what a mom should be. Like,
So, what were your thoughts on what a mother should be?
I wanted that quality time, daily, like where we could talk. I mean, we really wasn't getting that quality time. Like, I feel like you would get it without me. Like, you would go get your nails done. I mean, which those are things that you needed. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't involved, or like when you get off work, you would go, you would speak, but you really would just go to your own world, which again, something that you needed. But I just viewed it as mama's uninterested in my life for real.
Yeah.
And so I just thought a mama was just gonna be that your everything, like that person that you could go to about everything, you could talk to, and that was gonna support you in whatever you did.
Right.
And it would always be such a fight, and first foremost, like, protect you. Like, even now, I'm like searching, like, okay, am I gonna say the right things,
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, okay, no, just be real, just talk.
I mean, yeah,
like you just have like
this
underlying like desire of always wanting to please your mom. Like that's every child. You have that underlying, like, I want to make sure I do the right thing, and she gonna be happy or proud of me or whatever I say or do.
Because your general consensus was that it was never enough. That was your main.
Yeah.
Whatever you did, it wasn't enough. Or didn't do, it wasn't enough. So my.
Because I'm being the oldest and being the only girl, like I took on so much
responsibility.
Yeah, and it was always this battle of like, you trying to be grown or not, It was like always a battle of like, you got these grown responsibilities, but don't be grown though.
Yeah.
Like, take care of your brothers, do this around the house, clean, did it like you. It's like I had to have so much responsibility, like, and then just the way you have to carry yourself in order for protection against predators, all the things. It's just like way heavy on being a female,
Yeah. So our relationship pretty much, from when you was born, it was not very cohesive. I had a toxic relationship with your dad. It wasn't really toxic. It was until the end, but it was toxic because he had some serious substance use, and in some way or form, You know, I was in college, so I was, turning up and, living wild and free. And, as we all know, he's Caucasian. And so, well, we may not all know, but
Yeah.
now you know. But
You don't know.
that being said, that whole back to the survival mode, because my mother had left my dad for a Caucasian dude. So I'm like, well, maybe that is a better world. Jungle fever, all that was at that time. So I was like, well, let me see what that's about. But I mean, my mom also was an activist, so I idolized her. And they say don't put any other idols before God, but I did idolize her in a way that I just like worshiped everything she did. Like, she was a college graduate. She was a activist in our community, a paralegal, she could, musical, very stylish, so as a woman, I idolized her. She was, but I didn't feel like she gave me that protection, that understanding, that attention. Matter of fact, she left me and had 2 other children, my beloved brother and sister, that, we don't have a good relationship. We don't have a close-knit relationship. And so as I'm having my own child and trying to figure out how to be a mom and what I'm supposed to do, I was like, I'm gonna be better than I'm gonna do better than I did than I got. I'm gonna do better than I got.
Yeah.
But some of the same patterns, like when I met, my husband, because I know you said the other day, you was like, well, before, I would sit down, I would
Yeah, you
time,
would pay attention to the little things.
My kids.
Yeah.
And well, it was you then.
Yeah, it was just
and then,
me.
And then, Bubba came along. So when I wasn't in a relationship, I let the male relationship kind of take over, my bond with my kids.
Yeah.
To put it nicely. Because I was definitely dedicated to my children as far as what I thought in my mind, my intentions was like, oh, this is finna be like, she is my daughter. This is the first thing I've been able to have that's, I can say is mine, but it's not really mine either. You're not mine. And so I had that mindset to where, like, she's mine, and now I'm gonna groom her to be a mini-me. But then she wasn't a mini-me, and I got a lot of like, oh, she's so pretty, she don't look like you, and all that,
Yeah.
So that was another like dagger, because I'm like, oh, she's my daughter. So that was another thing that, not to make excuses, but that's what it was for me, because it was just like, I wanted you to idolize me, because I'm like, shoot, my mom, she didn't treat me that well, but I still like honored her and respected her. I wouldn't talk back to her. Now I did run away from home. But I was truly like grown, like I was, an adult, So I would, when I say run away from home, I wasn't 12 or 13,
Yeah.
I had graduated high school. So, and so that just gives you a little insight on, the overprotectiveness. I didn't really get to experience my high school, and have friends and hang out until like maybe my senior year, because of the overprotectiveness and kind of controlling environment. So I was saying that I was going to do better by my own daughter, but then I ended up at some points in some phases, and I still think I did better, but it just wasn't the best it was the best of my knowledge, but it wasn't the best of my ability.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so, what you experienced as far as, not being protected, not being affirmed, not being as paid attention to, was a result of my own wounds of mother.
Yeah.
So.
And that's why I'll say, this just, these conversations are needed and just so powerful to have, to kind of reflect and really get into like, okay, yeah, I could have did this better, but I know I did good at this. Balancing it out from like, this is what I experienced, so this is how I did it in order to try to, do better than what I went through. But also, we know, like, it's a battle trying to overcome those generational things, because it's like, okay, your mom had an estranged relationship with her mom.
Right.
And she had an estranged, still has an estranged relationship with you, and then we had a estranged relationship for a while. Like, it was always bumping heads, because I'm like, I'm not, liking certain things, and it made me to rebel against, like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to do this. So I'm just trying every single thing in order to find who I really am, because I felt like my mom wasn't truly operating in who God purposed her to be. So I'm like, okay, so who do I be? So it was hard to look up when I'm like, my mama is not really operating in her fullness. And even as a child, even now, I always tell mom, she named me and my brother Angel and Gabriel. We came here to be angels. Angels are messengers. So I always be like, that's why I am the way I am. My name is Angel Dawn, so I'm like messenger of light. So I'm like, that's why I am the way I am.
So she's trying to light on my darkness, basically.
Yeah, so I'm like coming through trying to,
and I'm like, girl, get back.
Yeah.
You blinded me with that.
Yeah. So I'm like, mama's not really operating, in her fullness. So I'm looking for something or someone to, like, glean on to, or just something like, okay, who am I going to be? So I just was so lost on, like, who am I? Like, who am I going to be? And being disconnected from my grandmother, being disconnected from my all the people that are our family. I'm not knowing what it's supposed to be a woman, or to be a girl, or to be a this or that. I'm just listening to every little thing that's coming at me. Like, okay, you got to do this, you got to do that. And it's just kind of overwhelming, really, to try to uphold the standards of what a little black girl is supposed to be and do and not do and be and all the things. So.
I saw a reel the other day, and it was talking about that, exactly, about how a black woman has to, or a black woman has to not do this, not dress this way, not look like this, but look like that, be wholesome, make money, take care of the family.
Yeah.
Don't twerk too much, but have fun. It's just like, it's such a catch-22.
Yeah.
Of being a black woman, or a woman is not a catch. It's a beautiful thing when you can get the balance of it, but it is really the hardest thing for us to really do. Cook, clean, be sexy for your husband or your wife, take care of your kids, pay attention to them. You probably got to go to work. Then you come home from work, you got to be the family woman, you got to be the sexy woman, you got to be the everything to everybody.
Yeah.
Then you get lost, and then you're trying to find who you are.
Exactly.
Like that.
And that's the most important key, like, setting that foundation up as a child, when you're young, when you're super young, really implant those seeds of, like, you are a queen, yes you can, yes you are, yes, really establishing those boundaries and having those conversations consistently with your daughters, with your children, like, knowing, like, a big thing, we already had, like, an estranged relationship, but once I had Nyla, it really opened up the wound and opened up the fullness of, like, the wound. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really wounded in this woman area. I'm, not afraid, but I'm, like, nervous to let women in. Like, I can't really trust. I'm just like, are you gonna hurt me? Or, I would forgive. Like, it would be either way. Either I would just cut you off, or I would constantly forgive, and just take you back and be like, we can make it work. Like, I was not trying to lose those.
I was the cutoff queen, I'm gonna tell you.
Those important connections. Because, I was just like, dang, I would see you didn't have no friends.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dang, I want friends,
Right.
I don't want to just always be hanging around dudes all the time, because you got to a point where you would hang around nothing but dudes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Like I want some girlfriends.
Because I didn't like you. I had trust issues with women because I had been, hurt by, the most important woman in my life.
Exactly.
And so as a child, and you never get over that, it just continues to compound and compound.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, I don't trust women. I don't want to be around them.
And even setting those healthy boundaries with, people.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I like you. I'm vibing with you, but hold on, you ain't gonna run over me now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talk about situations, we can talk about situations that happen that, you really let a friend in and they did do you wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Several.
Yeah.
So that's why I said my cutoff game is very strong, is because, and that may be to a fault, because I didn't have the people that I did let in, like you said, forgive, and then it's like, dang, I'm bleeding to death.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to forgive, and then it's like, all right, well, I can't do that no more. So then I get into a relationship where, we weren't really on the same page either. So then now not only am I not even trusting, women and trusting other, you
get to a point where you're not even trusting yourself to make sound, wise decisions. And even like you were saying, like, you can, it's like when you know what you want, when you know who you are, you know what you don't want.
Right.
And you can easily be like, no, thank you. You're not it.
Sorry.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So as we esteem our daughters as they're young, as they come
opening up that womb for me, with Nala, opening up that mother-daughter womb, feeling that intensity, because we're both intense people. Mm-hmm. But, I'm like having to really learn, like, how can I talk to my daughter? Like, how can I really affirm? I'm learning every day, but how can I really affirm her to be this person that God called her to be, but also teach her, and
of a woman,
femininity, and to set those boundaries, and not let people run over her, or not to let her run over people. Mm-hmm. To really teach those good, healthy things that help build character, sisterly relationships, and just that overall empowerment. Yeah.
And so that's what the point is, good, because as you're young, you train up a child as they will go. So I didn't give you that esteem. And that's one thing I can say, like, I didn't give you enough of that esteem because I was so focused on trying to put Band-Aids on gunshot wounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And trying to heal other people. In every area of my life. Right. Really trying to heal others and, be that rock for other people when it was like you were needing it. Everything you were giving, you were needing. And that was just leaving you depleted, literally. Right. So it was like, how could you give to us, being your children, like, if you were not really being fulfilled,
Because I am. I mean, God created me very, very, very gifted. And so I lost track of that, and still trying to regain it and just reconnect with my highest power in a mighty way. Yeah. And even on a day-to-day basis, she had to tell me, calm down. I don't even like that. I'm like, I'm telling me to calm. But you know what I'm saying? It's just like I have to be in a place of maturity. I have to be in a place of, wisdom.
Yeah, like everything you've been through, everything, is guiding you to these moments and to the next moments, and it's really going to help to build those feminine connections and what you really want out of life. You want to be able to kick back with women, that you can connect with. Like, I love learning from my girls. Like, I love learning from other women. I love being able to connect and to share space. And I hate when I'm going through certain spells, when I have to go into my hermit mode and I have to heal myself, and I'm like, I can't really connect right now because I'm just trying to heal, and I don't want to sploosh, even though, sometimes you need that person that you can lean on, that strong person. but you don't really want to sploosh all your blood and all your trauma and tragedy on your friends, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, I had a tendency to do that in anger. So you do that in anger, and like I can go off on you, like I can make you wish you was never born, type of, like, for real. But that's not that. Yeah, the Scorpio sting, dead.
Yeah,
You be dead. But that's not who God created me to be. That's not who I'm. That's
like
definitely not who I'm.
The energy, like the energy that you can, you know, basically belittle, or you know, basically, oh, I can call you, I can pull your card, you know, you can, that same powerful energy, you know, I cultivate it, and like I can use that same energy to uplift and to focus on my desires and my wants, and you know, I want to see the people I love happy. I want to see the people that I love safe. I don't care, you know, the mistakes or what may have gone wrong in the past. Like, we can move past it. Like, that same healing or that same powerful energy that I can use to tear down, and you know, we could go at it,
go forth,
tip for tat. You know, that same intensity I can use to heal myself and heal others, versus like that little.
But
that's not gonna feel good.
Well, I will say this though. Sometimes, because in my philosophy, you know, I say Jesus flipped the table. He flipped the table that time.
Sometimes you gotta get mad.
Sometimes you gotta really, really make people understand who you are in a real way. Because people will play in your face and play with you and play with your kindness.
Yeah.
And play you weak.
That's for sure.
So you really have to establish as much as possible, because this world is getting real audacity. Is that a word? Audacity. That this world getting real, having some audacity. And so we have to really bend. But we really, it's been that way, but it's really like out on the forefront, because as technology evolves, you see everything. You see everything. And so children are getting traumatized by what they see. And it's harder to establish these relationships. So as we're doing these series and talking about this, you know, we want this to be a tool for others to have a conversation, to be able to have open dialogue and say, hey, let's look at this internally, for ourselves. And so mother wounds is real. I mean, you know, and like I said, I see it all the time. I watched a live the other day, and a lady was talking about, you know, how her and her mother are, and she's tried with their relationship. She's tried, and you know, the other girl was saying, prayer, and she was like, I prayed and I did this, and then she was like, I don't really pray no more. And she's gave up, so being able to have the example to be now to show that, hey, it can be done. We can recover and we can heal.
Yes. And it has to ongoing. Be, because you only get one mother. You know, you only get one mother, and the vessel you come through means the world to you, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Come through. So I just really I would enjoy that, and you know, like you said, y'all my wings, so for me to have those expectations, you know, it was hard. I put a lot of pressure on my children, I will say that, but I do think that it has ultimately made them better in a lot of ways. And maybe not so much in others. You know, being afraid or thinking like, am I gonna say the wrong thing? Am I gonna tip mama off? Or am I gonna make mama go
and not
off?
Even being able to, you know, come into that safe place.
Yeah.
Like your mother, you know, should always feel like a safe place. Yeah. To talk, to be, to heal, to come to.
Right.
Always. So when you feel like you made it to a point of like your mama might cut you off. you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to
ever have that fear.
No.
Or ever have that reality. Or ever, you know, And I have to, take due to my part in that and be like, how could I cut my own child off? Like, how can I do that? Now you can do that. Now you can do that at some degree, but I mean, she's done nothing for me to go to that extreme, So that being said, she had done nothing to go to that extreme. It was just my wound to where, hey, listen, I'll cut everybody, and no problem. I ain't got to be with nobody. I be myself, and that's misery. That's misery.
Yeah.
So nobody wants to live like that. We do want to have good relationships. We do want to have good building relationships to where we can establish in the earth our heaven as it would be.
For sure.
In heaven. On earth. That's what God wants us to do. So that being said, I think you got any closing remarks?
Yeah, I just want to say I thank you for the people who are, joining us on this journey and just being here and being patient and, being able to watch us grow, because this is just the start of something so beautiful, and you're being able to just kind of see it spring forward, as you would say. This been in the ground growing, and this is something I have prayed for deeply and consistently, and I just thank God for bringing this forward and just helping us to be consistent. This is week 4, and if it's helping you, it's helping us, and I just pray it can touch who it needs to touch, and that we connect with who it needs, that we can connect with who we need to connect with through this experience.
Now moving forward. So y'all comment below what your thoughts are. If you have any ideas on topics, comment below. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Y'all have a good day.